Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Farming Simulator, and today is the day, guys. Today is the day that we are going to discuss the future of Farming Simulator. Well, not really, but we're going to discuss some things that I would like to see improved upon with the game, and we're going to talk about some things that I would like to see added to the game that are kind of just my own personal thing, guys. So, you know, take it easy on me. Don't have a cow. These aren't things that I'm saying, must come into the game. These are just things that I would like to see in the game. Now, with that being said, I should point out right from the beginning that there's a lot of things that I left out. There's a lot of things that I would like to see come to this game, but unfortunately, I can't make a video that long. I don't think anybody would watch the whole thing, considering that, the average watch time for any of my videos is like under 5 minutes. So, thanks a lot. Just joking, guys. But yeah, like I can't put everything in a video that I would like to see come to the game. Things like I would like to see the weather effects have, real effect in the game. But I think that's something that we would discuss with seasons, and I really feel like that could be its whole video of just discussing seasons if they put seasons into the base game and how they could do it and what features that I would like to see in seasons. So I definitely think that I might save that for a different video. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this down, and in the beginning it's going to be like 4 big things that I would like to see improved upon in the game, and then after that we'll discuss just things that I would like to see come to the game that I would have fun with, that I think would just improve on the immersion and just some of the fun factor for me personally. So without further ado, let's get on with the video, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is physics, and the one thing that I would love to see them change in the next version of Farming Simulator are the physics of the vehicles. Now, what we have here is we have a small tractor, a medium tractor, and a large tractor, and we're going to hop in the small one here. And now, granted, there's a lot of vehicles in this game, but I don't know, I just feel that the physics of the tractors could be a little better. And I mean, really, there's no difference between the small tractors and the big tractors and the medium tractors. Now, as I said, I don't expect them to give different physics to each tractor. That would be ridiculous. But maybe if all of the small tractors would have a certain kind of physics, and the mediums would have another kind, and then the large would have another kind, I think it would be better. And then, of course, just better physics overall with the harvesters, with telehandlers, with, pretty much all the vehicles in the game. And for me, anyway, when I'm driving, it feels like these are very much like radio-controlled vehicles I'm driving. It doesn't feel like I'm driving, a big John Deere tractor, a big farm tractor. And that goes for when the vehicles are towing things as well. I think that there needs to be a lot better physics behind that. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This isn't Farming Simulator. And you're absolutely right, it's not Farming Simulator. But I feel that one of the things that the Farming Simulator community really wants to see in the game is mud. Or more importantly, I think they want terrain deformation. Now, what I feel the difference is between just plain old mud and terrain deformation is that technically with mud, if you just say mud, they could just make the fields appear to be softer. So in other words, when you drive through them, you know, maybe you see the field just, you know, it has the effect that your tires are sinking in, but not real deformation. So for me, I would like to see real terrain deformation come to Farming Simulator. Now, with that being said, guys, take a look at this. Like, could you imagine if Farming Simulator looked like this? You know, I mean, this is fantastic. I mean, the textures and everything of the ground, you know, I mean, it's a shame you can't really get flat, but when you're playing Farming Simulator and when you bring the camera down to like dirt level, there's really no texture to the ground. It's flat. It looks like a flat piece of paper, whereas this here, you can see that the ground's textured. You can see that it's just not flat. You know, now obviously they would have to have some kind of better physics, which that's what we spoke of in the last segment. And I would still like better physics. Now the question is, can Giants give us this level of terrain deformation with the engine that they are running now? And honestly, guys, I really don't think so. I think the best that Giants could probably give us would be the illusion of mud, which I guess that's not really too bad. At this point, I would take it, but at the same time, you know, we are going into next gen of consoles, and these consoles, the Xbox Series X and the PS5, have pretty damn impressive specs. So if we can have these kind of graphics on PS4, you know, I don't really understand the limitations that Giants has for upping their game a little bit for the next console. Now, with that being said, another thing that was mentioned, I believe, on Silver News, they said that Giants did say the next version of the game will have a lot higher slot limit on console. Now, at first, this disappointed me because I was like, you know, with these new consoles, with the new memory and stuff they have, we still have to have a slot limit. That was, you know, a little bit concerning. But then I thought, maybe the next version of Farming Simulator isn't going to be exclusive to next gen, because let's face it, not everybody's going to run out and buy a PS5 or Xbox Series X, you know, when they come out. Obviously, I'm going to try my damnedest to pre-order one when they come out, depending on how much it costs and what my financial situation is at the moment. But yeah, you know, it may be several years before everybody actually gets these next-gen consoles. So my guess would be the next Farming Simulator game is not going to be exclusively for next-gen, and that's why that we'll still have a slot count. But it'll be interesting to see if that count will be raised on PS4 as well. Alright, the next one is a big one, and it's render distance or draw distance, whatever you want to call it, but that right there, that circle where things don't render in, textures don't render in, crops don't render in, you can see them. Me personally, I really wish they could fix that. It's one of the things that I really dislike about the game. It's really annoying seeing those crops render in like that. And maybe a small thing to some people, but yeah, to me it's one of the things that I'm not happy about. And, you know, I've heard people actually blame console for this, but here's the deal. This is in the PC version of the game as well, so they're not going to purposely put something like this in the PC version just because console can't handle the render. That would make no sense at all. And they would say, look it, PC can handle it, console can't. End of story. So console would be, PC would be nice and smooth. It wouldn't render like this. You wouldn't see this big circle, and you would on console. So it's not a console thing. It's a Giants thing. So yeah, this is another thing that I really want to see them fix in, if not the next game, then at least the game after that. I mean, yeah, that I really want to see them do better. Okay, so moving on to the fourth and last of the big things, because that's, as I said in the beginning, I had 4 big things that I would like to see change in the game, and then we'll discuss things that are kind of little minor, or things that I would just like to see just for my own, personal enjoyment of the game, that they may never come to the game. If they do, great. If they don't, oh well, I get that. But these are like the 4 big things that I want to see changed in the game. Now, there is kind of a 5th, but we'll discuss that in a moment. So, it's the crops, guys. Like, I mean, this is Farming Simulator 19. This is like the ultimate farming game that we have. There are others, but let's face it. Farming Simulator is like the pinnacle of these farming games. And to give us like one new crop every game is just crazy. Like, it's just crazy to me. This game's been around long enough now that we should have tons of crops, right? I mean, cabbage, lettuce, cucumbers, peppers, broccoli, tomatoes, fruits, fruit trees. Why not? I mean, that's kind of what the game's based on. I mean, there's, let me divide this into 2 parts, because I do think these things go hand in hand. Crops and seasons, right? Without either of those things, you cannot be a farmer. If you don't have crops to harvest, right, or animals, we'll say that. We'll say animals as well. But animals are in here for the most part. If you're going to be an arable farmer, you need crops, and you definitely need seasons. I'm sure there are some places in the world that it's like, 75 year-round and perfect weather all the time. But for the most part, places in the world had different climates, and they had different seasons. So, there's planting seasons and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. If they want to put seasons into the base game, which I think they should, and I'm pretty sure they're going to, have an option where you can shut it off. Like, I don't care, and I get that people don't like seasons, and I do understand that seasons aren't for everybody. Seasons are kind of one of those things that you need to get into, and it takes a while. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with them putting seasons in the game and just having it like you could turn it on and turn it off, just like you can with periodic plowing or, weeds or anything like that. Just have a little switch where you can switch it on and off, and I'm fine with it. But I do feel that we need more crops. And, it's going to be kind of a running thing in this whole video. But I do think it's a shame that modders, okay, who only mod for the love of the game, can bring us new crops like alfalfa and rye, and I don't even know how many other crops that they've given us in FS19 and on console as well. And Giants just kind of drags their feet. I really feel that Giants puts out a game and they leave it to the modders to make the game better. And I think that kind of sucks, because I think if Giants would put out a game that was awesome and they put their best into the game, then the modders could do even more and they could do even better things, and they should use that to like push each other, you know what I mean? Like Giants, they should be like, okay, you know what? Let's see what these modders can do. Let's put out this game, and put all this stuff in it, and make the game the absolute best we can to push the modders to see, how good they can be when we give them this. But instead, I truly feel that Giants just puts out a very mediocre game, and then the modders take that game and build it up into something awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the game. I do love this game. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do content on it. I wouldn't be playing it as much as I do. I absolutely love this game. But I think Giants needs to up their game. And, I mean, we're not getting a farming simulator game this year. So presumably we'll probably get one next year sometime. So, that'll give them an extra year. So, although I want to have my hopes up that this next game is going to be awesome, Giants really hasn't shown me that they're capable of stepping it up. So we'll have to see. But yeah, more crops in the next game and seasons. So those are the big four with an added fifth, because I do feel that seasons and crops go hand in hand. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the fun part of this, and let's talk about things that I would just like to see in the game. Just for me, just things that I would enjoy in the game. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is animals. Now this is Sandy Bay. This is a map by Oxygen David, and we have baby calves. I mean, this is awesome. I want to see more of this in the game. I want to see this in the base game. I want to see baby animals. I want to see baby cows. I want to see baby sheep, baby pigs. I want to see that. I want to see more realism with the animals. I want more in depth with the animals. I mean, like, I don't even know what that means. I don't. Maybe if hey guys, this is a far fetch, and understand that. Now you're getting into like my crazy mind and what I would like to see in the game. So, like with the sheep, maybe we would have to load the sheep up and get them sheared, or maybe just somehow move them to a barn that they get sheared. The cows, if we had to move the cows into a barn to get milked every morning, I think that would be really cool. Just more stuff to do with the cows, and a lot more interactivity on the maps I think would be fantastic. So let me think, is there anything else with the animals that I could think of? I just want more, guys, and more animals. We already have maps that have goats and ducks. I mean, put that in the game. Giants, what are you doing? Like, put that in the game. I mean, honestly, bringing out a game every couple years, which I know that they skipped a year, guys. I know that. But to bring out a game every couple of years and to give us so little, it just doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, with what the modders do, I say take an extra year or two and give us a new farming simulator game that's amazing. Right? That has like everything in it that we want. Don't just put out a game to put out a game, if that makes sense. But so yeah, just animals, more animals. That's always a good thing. And while we are on Sandy Bay, you know what I would like to see as well? I would like to see more interactivity on the maps, right? So, like, we have a sink, I think it'd be cool if we could turn the sink on. If you have, like, a hose, maybe we could turn the hose on and we could use this to wash our vehicles with if we didn't want to buy a power washer. Just more interactivity, things that we have to do on the farm, just to make it more simulator-like, and including in that interactivity. What if we could just move things on the map, right? So like you get on a new map and you got this farm and you see all this stuff here. What if we could just clean all this up? What if there was a way, you know, we could tidy all this up if we didn't want it there? Just as an option, you know? And, you know, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a developer, so I don't know what kind of nightmare this would be. But it's just ideas. It's just things that go through my mind when I play the game that I would like to see. So, yeah, just more interactivity. That's what I think, you know? Like, what if, I think this is a water tank, yeah. So what if when you brought your water tank up here, what if you had to hook a hose up to your tanker to fill it up instead of just kind of pull up to it and press L3 or whatever it is on PC, you know? So, yeah, that's just another thing that I think would make the game a lot more interesting and a lot more immersive. And that's something that you're going to hear from me a lot probably in this video, is that, you know, with games like this, with simulators, for me anyway, it's all about the immersion. Like, I really want to feel like I'm here. I really want to feel like this is my farm. You know, I'm doing these jobs. That's just what I get out of the game. You know, it's just like the fuel. You know, I would love to see where we had to actually get out and, like, pump gas in the tractors, you know, diesel fuel in the tractors or whatnot. All right, now maybe this one. Maybe I should have added this to the the big ones that need to be changed in the beginning of the video. But let's talk about AI for a bit. Now, I'm not just talking about helper AI. Obviously, everybody wants helper AI to be better. We all have had horror stories with the helper AI in the game. Sometimes they work good, sometimes they don't. They definitely don't work good on fields that are misshapen. I don't think they're made well for mod maps. Now, me personally, I don't use helpers a lot anyway. But I do know people that use them, that they get really frustrated with the helpers not doing a very good job. But another aspect of AI that I would just love to see in this game, all these fields that we don't own. Now, they have contracts for them, but if you don't do the contracts, the fields go through a cycle. You know, so you'll see crops are grown in here, and then you'll see crops are harvested, and then you'll see the land's been cultivated or whatnot. Now, I imagine this could never come to console, considering the limitations of console or whatnot. But how cool would it be to just be driving around the map, and the fields that you don't own, you actually see farmers working those fields instead of the fields just, you know, being in this state. I would absolutely love to see that. And again, it's something that it would really do nothing for the gameplay. It would probably just take up a lot of memory for the game to do. But just as an immersive standpoint, I would just love to ride around a map and see other farmers working. You know, and now again, I know that there's some people out there that they turn off all the traffic on the map and they don't want traffic on the map. But me personally, I like maps that feel alive. I like maps that, you know, it doesn't feel like I'm the only person there. So better AI for the help, better AI for the NPC vehicles and stuff like that too, driving on the roads. I love what, you know, Oxygen David did. I love how he sped up the vehicles because, you know, God knows the cars in this game are slower than tractors, and where does that ever happen? But yeah, I would just love to see farmers working these fields that we don't own. That would be really cool. Alright, this next one is one that I would like to see come to the game. And again, I've gotten a lot of negative comments when I've mentioned this in the past. But I would really like to see some kind of management for your farmer. Like, this is Farming Simulator. I totally get that. And yes, I understand it's about the farming. But your farmer is just as important as any machine in the game, right? I mean, you know, I don't think it would be such a bad thing if we could eat, if we had to sleep, if we had to stop to take a drink once in a while. You know what I mean? Just basic needs for the farmer. I'm not saying we got to get all Sims going here. You know, I'm not talking that it's got to become like a survival type of game. But, you know, just a simple thing to take care of the farmer, you know, I think would add a completely other element to the game. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, you know, well, when I mentioned this before, you're like, well, you know, play The Sims. Well, I don't want to play The Sims. I can't, you know, I can't harvest and I can't do all that in The Sims. And I really don't see why that element would be such a foreign concept in a simulator. You know, I mean, we're farmers. You know, we have a person, we have an avatar. You know, I don't see what the big deal would be is to just say, hey, okay, you know, you've been working this guy for like 12 hours. You know, maybe stop and grab something to eat. You know, and I think that's in, that's in one of the other farmer games. I can't think of the name of it. I don't have the game, but, Farmer's Dynasty. You know, and I don't think it's a bad thing to include elements of maybe other games. You know what I mean? And I think that anything that, you know, adds to the realism would be a plus to this game. You know, I know that there's people out there that disagree, and that's fine, guys. Like, you know, you can disagree. We can all disagree as long as we're civil about it and, you know, respectful. I don't have a problem with it. It's when we start getting rude and disrespectful, and that's when I have an issue. So, you know, feel free to disagree, but just do it in a nice manner, shall we? Alright, so in conclusion, guys, I try to keep this short, although there's a ton of other things that, honestly, I would really like to see in the game, but I just, you know, I gotta watch the time of these videos. I can't go and have, like, an hour-long video. You know, PS4, you can only record an hour anyway. You can have an 80-minute video, though, in Share Factory, but yeah, that's just ridiculous. Like I say, there's so many things that I would love to see come in the game, but I just wanted to take a look at some that, you know, realistically I want changed, like the render, for instance, and stuff like that. And then I just wanted to throw some fun ones in there that I would just like to see put in the game, just for my own enjoyment, that I think would add something to the game. Again, like I said, guys, you know, you could disagree with me, you know, and I would love to hear some of the things that you guys would like to see come to the game. And overall, though, you know, I'm going to be excited for a new Farming Simulator game regardless, because I absolutely love the game. Whoa! Jesus! That scared me. Man. But, yeah, I really do love the game, and, you know, any kind of criticisms that we have for a game, I think it just kind of shows how much, you know, you're really into the game. I just wish Giants would step up more and try to make the best game they can make. And then I feel... Ooh. And then I feel the modders can do even more. And I mean, let's face it, the modders have done so much for this game already. You know, it's not even funny. But yeah. So I think that's the end of this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, as I said, feel free to drop in the comments some things that you would like to see in the game. As I said before, you're free to disagree with me. Just keep it friendly, and we won't have any problems. And yeah. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.